Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a quick video here. Just got in a few minutes ago and saw that Guess I'm Just a Spudboy posted a video with a nice VC question that we haven't really touched on that much or in quite some time. I think I did a video maybe 4 or 5 years ago, like right when I first started posting videos. It kind of touched on the subject. So great idea to bring up, man. Want to kind of jump in and put my 2 cents in on it and just kind of share my thoughts. So great thread question to throw up. And simply put, he was just kind of asking, or talking about, I should say, insuring your vinyl collection. You know, should you or should you not? And then, of course, like any thoughts or whatever else that you might have on it. So I would start off by saying, if your music collection or your vinyl collection, if it were to get damaged or lost in a fire, would be a substantial loss to you. And I'm not talking about music-wise, because obviously if you lost all your music, no matter how big or small your collection is, that's substantial. But from a financial standpoint, if you would consider it to be a significant financial loss, I would say yes, you should insure your record collection. And you know, personally, my collection is insured. I have it insured through State Farm. And I didn't really check a lot of other companies, so most stuff I'm going to share right now is really specific about the State Farm policy, as, again, I don't know about many other companies out there, so maybe someone else is insured with someone else and they can kind of share. But I know with State Farm, if you were to call them up tomorrow, the policy is listed, and of course this is a few years back when I got the policy started, so I don't know how much has changed. But within my policy, it's listed under I can't remember the exact wording, it's a 78 record something is what the coverage is actually named. Because when I called my agent and asked him about it, you know, he was like, well, I'm not sure, here, I'll pass you off to my assistant. And so I was talking to her, and she was looking up stuff, and she was like, no, I don't see anything for vinyl records, we only have this 78 something. And I was like, a 78 is a vinyl record. And so she called and checked it out, and he was like, okay, yeah, this policy covers all vinyl. Because obviously they don't know 78s from 12 inches to 45s or anything else. So whatever the title of it is, it's 78 something. So just kind of know, you may have to help them out to let them know that is the vinyl record policy. So with that policy, it only covers vinyl. So CDs, cassettes, 8-tracks, none of that can be covered under that policy, and State Farm does not have a policy that covers that. With them, vinyl records are seen more as like a collector's, kind of a separate type of thing. Like, for example, if you have firearms in your house, like I'm kind of a gun person and I have firearms. Well, there's individual policies that you can get to cover the value of your firearms if they're stolen or whatever else. Vinyl is kind of viewed the exact same way. It's an individual thing to cover. CDs, cassettes, and all that stuff is just considered part of regular household goods that you would cover under your renter's insurance or your homeowner's insurance. So that's actually what I did with my personal renter's insurance. Is I bumped it up to kind of account, it wouldn't replace everything of course, but to account for some of the value of my CDs and my cassettes. So that's how I have those covered. But the vinyl policy is just for vinyl, not all of your musical collection. So you have to cover those other ones under a separate, like I said, renter's or homeowner's policy. Now, when you do it with State Farm, the one thing that they do require is that they want to know the value and the proof of things within that collection, so they want to have everything cataloged. So that would be one thing. If you're not a person that has an Excel spreadsheet or something like that, you're going to have to go through and catalog each record and the value of that record. They want that on file. Now, I had about 2,000 records or so at the time I did my policy, and so I thought it would take forever, but literally it took me about 3 days to put all that stuff in an Excel spreadsheet. It went by really, really fast. And so now what I do is about every 6 months, or when I feel there's been any type of significant change in my catalog, I'll just email over a new copy of that Excel spreadsheet. Like the last 6 months, I haven't really been buying anything for the most part, so I haven't sent a new copy or whatever, but you know, that's how I kind of update it on a yearly or however frequently I feel it needs to be done. So yeah, that's one thing. Now, another thing I think that plays in our favor is, with the company wanting proof about things, is that, obviously if you knew that your house was going to be damaged or something, having a fire, one of the things you might do is go in and take pictures of everything, like all your clothes and everything else, furniture, electronics. That would be ideal to take a picture of it the day before your house burned down, so the insurance company have like no questions. Well, one of the great things about what we have in the VC is, if my collection went up in flames tomorrow, not only do I have the catalog that I sent them, but I have 500 plus videos on YouTube over the past 5 years showing, look what I got, look what I just bought, look what I just bought, look what I got in, look at my new stuff, look at my new finds. So it's kind of like, for us, we do have a slight extra advantage of just kind of keeping it in the back of your mind. If I ever have a claim, I got YouTube to go to that will really help prove I have exactly what I said I had. Here's videos of me holding it, So just again, another advantage for us with the whole cataloging and proof of what we have within our collection. Now, they didn't necessarily come and want to inspect it or whatever else. For the most part, they kind of just took my word for it. Now, they're going to base your premium off of what you're saying you had. So, So then one of the questions that I oftentimes get beyond that is, well, how do you know what the value of your records are? Well, as we kind of know, for the most part, a lot of it is subjective. We kind of know that. But with my catalog, I make it very, very true to value with all my records. So if I have a record that I know, typically I've seen this in the store for $25. I've seen it on eBay go regularly from anywhere between $15 to $25 or $30. And I have a nice, near mint copy of it here. I'll just value it somewhere right in between. I've seen it sell for anywhere between $15 to $30. I'm going to value it at $20 or $25. Or this is a record maybe I picked up for $5 way back when I first started collecting, but I'm seeing it in dollar bins all the time right now. Yeah, I paid $5 for it, but if it's in dollar bins at a number of different stores on a regular basis, to me the album's worth $1. So that's what I'm going to put on there. So I keep my catalog very, very true to actual value. This is a $100 record. It's hard to find. This one's pretty thrashed up or whatever else, but I have a copy of it and it plays well. I might list it as $5 in my collection or whatever, but I keep everything very true to value. So just paying attention to what things cost at a number of different stores. What I really like the most is what things have actually sold for on eBay. So if I can go in and do some research on that and find 5 of these albums that have sold over the past 6 months or whatever, the average of those albums is pretty much a realistic average to me. Or even just going on eBay and hitting, the watch. Maybe I'm not totally interested in buying that album, but I'm going to watch it to see what is the highest bid end up being on these albums. Because to me, what the album sells for is truly what its value is, what you can actually sell it for within the next month. So again, that's how I find values. So yeah, that's what I put in the catalog. That's what I send over. That's what I have insured. Now, one thing to kind of keep clear with the State Farm claim or State Farm policy is you pretty much need to view it as a one-time claim, if you ever decide to utilize it. So the way it was kind of explained to me with the way the policy is set up, I could have a $25 record sitting on the floor and I roll over it in my chair. I could get up the next day and go file a claim with State Farm for that $25 record, and they'll give me full replacement value for that record. And so that's why there's such a stickler on the catalog, is because it is full replacement value for that record. There's no deductible or anything kind of connected with it. So if you have $300 of records that get destroyed, you can file that claim and get $300 back. But that's kind of your one-time claim. So, the policy's kind of completed, if you will, once you file that claim. So obviously if you have a $30,000 record collection and your house basement gets flooded, the bottom row of your expedite gets flooded. Okay, I just lost $400 in records that happen to be on my bottom row. That might not be worth losing a $30,000 policy on my vinyl collection. I'm just going to eat that. That won't be my claim. I'm going to wait for the fire that destroys, with smoke damage and warping records and everything else, that destroys my entire $30,000 collection, that's the claim I will file for my one-time claim. So you always want to kind of keep that in mind too, is even if you have the insurance, it's not like car insurance where maybe you get in an accident, you know, maybe you have like a one-time forgiveness like what Allstate says or whatever, your car gets fixed and then you continue to pay your premiums to the next accident. This is kind of, you get one accident, so you have to pick and choose when you want to file a claim on that accident. And again, if I remember correctly, I don't think there's no deductible with that or anything. It's 100% replacement value. Now, as far as premiums go, I think for my policy, I won't necessarily say how much I have my collection insured for or what I have the value on all my records set at, but I pay about $27 a month, if I remember correctly. It's right. It's in there with my car insurance and homeowners and renters and everything else. But I think I pay right about $27 a month in premiums. So now, as your collection goes up in value when you adjust that Excel spreadsheet, and I think it's in pretty significant chunks. It's not like if you email it over and your overall value is going up $300, you see some bump in your premiums. I mean, it's like some pretty significant jumps to take place where your premiums will be adjusted. But even then, like I said, you're adjusting from $20 amounts and so forth. So I pay about $27 a month. That's about what I pay. And to maybe just go off of Spudboy, the numbers that he threw out, because I don't know the value of his entire collection by any means, but just kind of in general, he said he spends about maybe $100 a week or so on vinyl, $400 a month. Now let's say you were capped to exactly $400 a month. Then it would make sense to me to say, let me, instead of spending $400 a month on vinyl, let me spend $375 or work a little harder to get certain deals so I can still get the exact same number of records I wanted to get at $400, but spend $375 and take that other $25 or so a month and protect and insure the rest of my collection against some catastrophic, you know, damage or whatever the case may be. That makes a lot of sense to me to do that. So I would say that, you know, $5 or $6 a week when you get down to it, or you know, $7 a week, about what that comes out to be, it makes sense to say, hey, that's worth it to insure my entire collection. And then also knowing that the one-time claim thing and stuff like that, I mean, take the extra step to be smart about it too. If your collection is in a basement, maybe kind of store your less valuable genres and stuff on the bottom row of your shelves. That way, if your basement floods, your least valuable records get damaged. And I don't know how many people actually think about that or consider that. You know, for everyone that has records in your basement, have you ever given thought to saying, wait a second, where are my least valuable records? Let me make sure I put all those on the bottom of all my shelves. You know, so again, if my entire basement goes up, well then, I'm filing for my entire collection. So just kind of, you know, something to think about there as well. But yeah, premiums, like I said, very, very reasonable. 20-something bucks a month, more than worth it to me to cover my entire collection. So anyway, there you go. That's my basic 2 cents on yes, insure your collection and kind of how I do it, and the few things I know about the State Farm policy. So if someone has information on different companies that offer other things, please share, because it's always good for us to kind of, you know, see what other options are out there. All right, thank you very much, VC. Great to talk to you guys as always, and we will talk to you soon. All right, take care, guys.